So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my last project, which was this project right here. And to make it, I used Photoshop and a lot of brushes. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how I did it. So what I planned to do was for the first week, I was going to research different Photoshop tutorials and try to figure out what my idea was going to be. And then for the second and third week, I was going to look up tutorials and start experimenting, and for the rest of the time I was going to work on my project and finish that. So I got a little behind on schedule on the second and third week trying to find tutorials because none of them were quite what I wanted, but finally I found the ones I wanted, which were like the words for create and all the other little words around there. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I did that. So first you got to open up Photoshop and then create a new project. Make sure that it is on custom and 800 by 600. And press OK. And for this you'll want impact and maybe like 72 or something like that. And so type your words, and I'll just use dream for this one. So that looks good, but I want it to be a little bit larger, so I'll press Command T. And so then if I hold on Shift and pull, that'll make it resize it without messing up the shape of the words. So you want to make it pretty big, otherwise it doesn't work so well. So I think that looks good. And try to center it on your page, and then you go over and you click on the layer and do rasterize type. And so here you'll want to press Command and click on the layer. Then you go over to Channels and press the little button down there, which will make a new selection for you. And we can go back to layers here. Now you're going to press deselect, which is Command D, and we're going to go up to edit and fill and make sure it's white and multiply, so then that won't hide your letters, and press OK. So that'll fill in the background. So now it's white there. Okay. So now we're going to go up to filter and press blur and Gaussian blur right there. And make sure that's about 4 and press OK. Back up to filter and press stylize and solarize right there. And so that changes the background to black now. And if you go up to image and auto tone, that makes it appear a bit more brighter. Now we're going to go, oops. Now we're going to duplicate the letter or the letters, and to do that you press Command J. And so now make sure that you're on top of the dream copy and not just the plain dream. And if we go up to filter and then distort and polar coordinates, make sure it is polar to rectangular and press OK. Now I know this looks a little weird, but that's not how it's going to turn out the end, so just go with it and it'll be fine. So now we're going to go over to image and image rotation and press 90 degrees clockwise. There we go. And then after that, invert it, so Command I. Then we go up to filter and press stylize and wind, and make sure it's wind from the right and press OK. Now that looks good, but we'll need to do that. Press 3 more times. So to do that you press Command F, and that'll apply your filter 3 more times if you press it 3 times. And then we're going to invert it real quickly and go up to edit or image and auto tone, make it brighter again, and press the wind filter 3 more times. So that's Command F 3 more times. So that looks good, and so I'm going to go back to image rotation, and this time do 90 degrees counterclockwise. That'll get it back up there. And then we're going to go over to filter, distort, and polar coordinates, and we click back to rectangular to polar and press OK. So that looks good, but you can't really see the letters too well. So now I'm going to go over to the layers, and instead of normal I'm going to use screen. So that looks good. Now you can see the letters a lot better. Now we're going to add a gradient, So to do that, you go down here to this little button and go up to gradient and click here. Make sure to click on this button, and if you double click on the bottom one there, and then you can choose your colors. So I don't know, I'm just gonna do let's do orange and red maybe. So click on that, and then you go over here and you click your second color that you want. So I think that looks good, so I'll press OK and OK again. This time you go up to normal and you press, go all the way down here to color. And so now your dream is colored now. So now I'm going to back to my normal dream, and I'm going to go up to this button here and convert to smart objects. Go up to filter and blur and radial blur this time. So you'll make it about 65 and spin or zoom and then best quality. So you'll go up and press OK, but when this happens you can't see the letters too well. So now we go over to and press a new layer, and then we go back to our channels to the little thing that we saved here, and now we'll press Command and click on it. So now you can see that there's highlighted words there. So click back on your layers, and now we'll go to Edit and Fill. This time make sure that it is black and normal. And when we press OK, and so you still see the letters there, but if you press Command D, it'll deselect it, and there you go. So that's what I did to make this project, and it took about 6 weeks probably to make, and yeah, there was a lot of things that went wrong with it. Like, I tried a lot of different tutorials and none of them really seemed to work quite right, so I had to keep searching, but finally I found this and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, if I could redo this project, I might change the picture of me here, because it seems like a little dark, and I might lighten that up a bit better when I take the shot, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so yeah. So I hope you learned a little bit today about Photoshop, and hope you liked my project.